What's up, everyone? Today I want to go over the top 5 mistakes new Amazon sellers make that you need to avoid when starting the business. And if you're new to the channel, my name's Hish. I'm a multiple six-figure seller at 19 years old. I've been able to drop out of college, buy my dream car, and help multiple others absolutely crush in their business. But of course, it did not just happen all at once. Matter of fact, all throughout my journey, I've made tons of mistakes that I want you guys to completely avoid when starting a business, or at least take into consideration before getting things started. And to kick things off, I want to go over a very common mistake. Too many brand new sellers think that they're just going to hop on Amazon and start buying tons of one specific product and just get rich off. Now, although I wish that was the case, it's completely far from the truth. And it falls back to something I tell all of my students, which is to always make test buys. Because I will always see brand new sellers hop on a listing, buy hundreds of units of a specific product, and they end up just sitting on all of it. Now, not to say they're not going to make any sales, but if you're buying too much of one product and it's not selling as fast as you might have thought it might have been able to sell, well, you're missing out on a lot of potential opportunity. And by that, I mean you're losing out on opportunity where you could have put that money towards other products and diversified your catalog and actually expanding at the end of the day. Because if you don't make test buys and you just go deep on one specific product, then you're really not going to have a great understanding of how fast it might sell. But the last thing you want to do is go super deep on a product that you thought you did your research on, but ultimately you missed a few things and now you're sitting on a bunch of inventory. Now, as an experienced seller as myself, or even some of my clients that are doing, six-figure months in revenue, they might be able to look at a Kiva graph compared to you as a newer seller and know exactly how much to buy of it, but that comes with time, of course. Make your test buys, get proof of concept, and then as you do that over and over and over again, you're going to get to a point where you'll know exactly how much to buy of a product because you've done it a million times. So all in all, do not overstock on product, make your test buys. Now, the second mistake that I see tons of sellers make is misjudging the demand on a product. Too many sellers, especially in the beginning, will look at the bestseller rank, aka the BSR, which, if you don't know what that is, it's just indicating how fast a product is selling on Amazon or how fast a listing is selling on Amazon, which I'll go over in a second. And they'll look at that number and automatically think that that product that they're looking at right now is a fast seller, it has demand, and it's gonna sell. And unfortunately, that again couldn't be further than the truth. Because although the BSR, aka bestseller rank, is a direct correlation towards the demand of a listing, that product that you're looking at could be the very product on that listing that doesn't sell at all. You see, I've seen tons of listings where they're selling multiple thousands, tens of thousands of times a month, but the specific ASIN that I found was profitable and had good margin was not selling at all. Now, if you go back to some of my videos in the past, you'll see my Keepa breakdown video, and I do break down the variations tabs in Keepa. And that's why I always tell, especially all of my clients that have worked with me, to always look at the offer count when it comes to analyzing a product. Because regardless of what the BSR is, which in my opinion, I think the BSR is completely overrated, the offer count is going to literally show you exactly how fast it's selling and how much demand is on the product. And to be more specific about that, I mean looking at the offer count, making sure there's movement and there's oscillation in the offers tabs, which shows a direct correlation towards how fast and how much demand is on the product. Now, I'm not saying the sales rank doesn't matter. It does matter, but at the same time, it's not everything when it comes to analyzing a product. So don't base your entire judgment on a product solely off the bestseller rank. Make sure you look at the offer count, make sure people are selling out of the inventory, they're actually making sales, it has demand to it, and then go from there. Also, if you're a current Amazon seller or you're looking to start on Amazon, you don't know where to start, or you're trying to scale, I do have a mentorship where I've helped tons of students hit multiple 5 and even 6 figures in their business. I'll pop them up all over the screen right here. And if you're looking for one-on-one support with myself, where we'll hop on one-on-one calls, live sourcing calls, so you guys can see the exact strategies that I've used to scale my online arbitrage business, feel free to book a call in the calendar link below in the description, or go to my Instagram at ecomhish and send me a DM. I'm very active on Instagram. I'd be more than happy to help you guys out there. And the third mistake I see a lot of sellers make in the beginning as well is neglecting competition on a listing. Meaning when they're selling a product in the beginning, they're just looking at profit, sure it sells, good BSR, good demand to it, but they're not looking at what the market's fluctuating to. And to give you guys a quick example of what I did when I first started my business, I made a crap ton of mistakes. I remember buying a specific product, I think it was like a deodorant or something like that, and I bought like 100 units of it. It sold really well, sold fast, had demand to it, things were going great, but ultimately the price ended up tanking so bad I went negative in profits. Now, of course, I take full accountability for that because I wasn't getting it as good as the source price as other sellers were getting it at, and all these sellers were getting tons of supply for it, meaning the market was saturated for it. So me being the young seller who is very oblivious to anything going on in the market, I figured, hey, good oscillations, making sales, let me buy it, let me make some money off of it. But lo and behold, a week later, a ton of sellers hopped on the listing, the market tanked, demand was still there, but there was way too much supply, meaning everybody was competing, one-upping each other on pricing, and it just kept racing, just race to the bottom, to be honest with you guys. And that's why I said you got to look at the bigger picture. You can't have emotional ties with your products, because if you do, it's only going to hurt you in the long run. Because Amazon is not a perfect business like any other business. No business is perfect. Everything has its flaws. But that's why you got to know when to actually like cut the ties, take the loss, or you're going to suffer the consequence of just not scaling. But not to get too off track, the biggest thing when it comes to the third mistake is to always pay attention to competition. You don't want to neglect that. You want to see where the market is going. You want to see how many sellers are on the listing, and you want to see what the trend is looking like. Are sellers selling out? Is the market going down in sellers, which is obviously always a green flag? Is it going up? Are a lot of sellers hopping on the listing? Really big things to take into consideration, because that's going to be a direct correlation to the price of the product at which you're going to sell at. The fourth mistake that I see sellers make a mistake on when selling on Amazon is coming on IP complaint listings. And if you don't know what an IP complaint is, it's when a brand can essentially send out almost like an audit to kind of saying, hey, we want to make sure you're not selling fake goods, or a customer complained to Amazon that you are selling fake goods, and essentially threatening to kick you off the listing and essentially violate your health account. And if you don't know this already, and if you're a current Amazon seller, you probably already know this already, is that Amazon is very, very, very tacky on making sure you're actually a legit seller. And really, you have to really prioritize your health account at the end of the day, because a poor account health rating is ultimately going to destroy you at the end of the day. Because if you're not maintaining along Amazon's policies, you're sending shipments late, your health account rating is just taking a complete dump, then you're gonna get kicked off Amazon. They're not gonna allow you to sell, straight up. Now, don't worry, that takes tons and tons of messes up. Like, you really have to not care at all for that to happen, so don't be alarmed, you're fine. But back to the main point about IP complaints is that when it comes to certain listings, some brands actually sell on Amazon. And as us arbitrage sellers that are reselling their brands, reselling their products, right, they want to make sure we're not selling fake goods, we're not violating their policies. Like, at the end of the day, they want to make sure we're selling their products legitimately, efficiently, and we're giving a good customer experience at the end of the day. And just so you know, it's not the end of the world if you get hit with an IP complaint. And if you're watching this and you have one, don't be alarmed, you're fine. I've gotten plenty in my Amazon career, and I've beaten them all. But again, another mistake that sellers do make when it comes to selling their products on Amazon is, coming on IP complaint listings. And the way you can avoid that is, again, if you guys watched one of my videos in the past about the keyword breakdown video, I do go over IP complaint examples. So again, make sure you're not ignoring that red flag when it comes to analyzing a product on Amazon, because that is very big. And now, if you came along this entire video to the last mistake that sellers make, it's going to be one that you're not going to expect, and it's going to be very transparent, because I was there. I think a lot of people were there at one point. It's being ignorant. Right? Too many people think when they start on Amazon, they can do it all on their own. They don't need anyone else to help them. They don't need a community. They don't need any of that stuff. By all means, I'm not saying you can't be successful on your own. You most definitely can. But what's that going to cost you? Well, it's probably going to cost you a ton of money. Number one, because of all the mistakes you're going to make and all of the misleading stuff you're going to buy, or, it's a business at the end of the day. Or number two, your time. Is it really worth you to spend all of this time on something you could have just learned had you invested into, say, a mentor, a group, right? Because don't get me wrong, we've all, been there where we think, oh, it's all on YouTube, we can always learn it on our own, this and that. And don't get me wrong, the information is out there, but there's almost too much of it, to the point where if you have someone where they can guide you, or you can be in a community to where you can network with other like-minded sellers, you have a strict path rather than having a million other paths, and now you're stranded. Now you don't know which one to pick. So in the end, I'm not here to rant or nothing like that. I'm just here to let you know that if you want to become successful, you have to be willing to do things even if they're uncomfortable, or even if they're new to you, because ultimately, if it's new or it's uncomfortable, that means you're actually growing. So understand, when it all comes down to it, you are your biggest asset. But again, thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope you guys got a lot of good value out of it in terms of what to avoid when selling on Amazon. If you're a current seller and you don't know where you're going, hope you know exactly what to avoid. And again, if you guys are interested in how you can work directly with myself, my community, my current students, feel free to go to the description below, press on the calendar link, and book a one-on-one call with myself. We'll hop on that call, see exactly where you are in your situation, in your business, and I'll see exactly how I can help you scale this thing from A to Z. Click that subscribe button below if you guys like the video and you guys want to see more content just like this. And also feel free to follow me on Instagram at ecomhish. I'm extremely active on there, probably the most active platform that I'm most active on. And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Appreciate you guys for tuning in.